I'm Margaret in, excuse me, Margaret in Windsor, and I'm sitting here and I'm listening to like the local channel 10. I don't know if the other two are. Uh, well, channel 7 and Fox are here, and then 13 ABC's out of Lynchburg, Virginia, nearby. I don't know if all of them, they'll be covering this wedding that's upcoming with Harry and Meghan. One of them, Lindsay Ward from Channel 10, is leaving to cover it. She's actually going to London. I don't know what they plan to do with this. This may go through, and they may never tell about my father the truth, or about me and my children, or any part of the truth. It's so ugly. My father, again, is Edward VIII, who he never married Wallace Simpson. He was married to my mother, Claudia Ruth O'Keefe, from Sun Prairie, or Madison, Wisconsin. Sister artist Georgia O'Keefe. She was Queen of England in 36. She was a school teacher. The O'Keefes had some money of their own, so I don't know how my father supported himself. If some members of the family helped him, they took him out with character assassination. The Rockefellers, Rothschilds, Bilderbergers, Kennedy, Joe Kennedy was made ambassador, and I know I'm being redundant to fill in because somebody picks it up, they don't know what I'm speaking of. And I haven't laid out anything here for anybody to see. I've put it up on YouTube and Facebook for so long. Anyway, my father was taken down with character assassination because he had integrity. He wouldn't follow the demands or orders of the Illuminati that I've just spoken of, so they got rid of him. A double imposter married Wallace Simpson, American spy. You don't see any of this. There was more than one double, but they became the illegal title that's not my father, of Duke and Duchess of Windsor. I was born in 1939, and I put up pictures where George, Elizabeth's father, my father's brother, and my uncle, I'm sad to say, became king. Well, illegal, he's illegal, but in 37, the same year that history tells you my father, saying he's the Duke of Windsor, that they were married, and they're still saying today that that's my father, Edward VIII. He was married to my mom. They never left each other. They were still alive, both of them, October the 20th of 1986, when I came to Roanoke. And still alive and still married. This lie, it shows you what the global government can do, the Illuminati, the Rockefellers. You've got crimes that were done against me and my children here. The Kennedys helped in my kidnapping. That's why Joe Kennedy was appointed ambassador by Roosevelt, another Jew. And it wasn't just the Jews, for you all that don't allow me to say the word Jew. When I started finding out about it, yeah, I have the right to be upset and angry at what was stolen from me and how I was brought over here and kidnapped. If it happened to anybody else, there would be such an outrage. And this seems to be just fine with a lot of people, obviously. Okay, Elizabeth was 15, I believe, when I was kidnapped. She certainly knew all of this. Her father became the illegal monarch, and they kidnapped me in 41 at age 2. And the day I was born Victoria II, legal heir to the British crown. So I'm not going to go into that again, other than it is legal. The minute I was born, it would bring my father back, his power of attorney, and my guardian. So now they had to get rid of me, and they did. They kidnapped me. JFK was part of it, and the Kennedy clan. They had somehow, they married into the royal family, but they didn't. Radswold, the sister to Jackie, and she had a son, that her son and JFK Jr. actually came up on the Appalachian Trail when I was living up there in the spring of, I think it would have been it was 93 or 94, and I spent winters freezing and starving up there. After I'd run in a political campaign too, and so I'm going to leave it at that. That's when I started finding out about my kidnapping and real name. And they came up there, JFK did. I've put this before. Junior came up there with Lee Radswell, JFK's aunt, and that's how they got into the royal family. She married, they're not really, but kind of they were. And well, you can, anybody can Google it and see that they even, and I'm not going to name names here, but the Kennedys were in the castles and spent time with part of the royal family growing up. And anyway, JFK Jr. actually bought a backpack. Well, I guess he had one, and his cousin, Lee Radswell's son, that she married into supposedly the royal family. Well, they hobnobbed, the Kennedys did with them, and then kidnapped me. How about that? And what's been done to my children here and my father. So, but they came up, and he did, JFK Jr. and Lee Radswell's son. And he actually came up, and I said, "You look like JFK Jr." And he said, "That's who I am." And they spread out their backpack, took out their food, and he said, "We came up here to see how we made you live." Well, I hadn't eaten, I had frozen, and obviously they knew about me. That was a shock to me that JFK Jr. knew, and his George magazine. By the way, I want to say this without going any further. There's so much in that family where I was taken. This was planned by the Illuminati, the Freemasons. But somebody planned some of this. It's too much, like Geneva and twins getting a part of this, and a name pattern. And then you had George Washington. I'm not going to say his last name. I don't mean him any harm whatsoever. But you get into things that are really weird, like Cosmos Lang was Archbishop of Canterbury in 36, and he helped take down my father with Winston Churchill, the Kennedys, the Illuminati. This is your global government that they talk about in Revelations. And I'm not even going to say anything about that until I found out my real name and what happened to my father. I didn't connect this to, they came into power, the Illuminati, after they took down my father in 36 and kidnapped me in 41, and all the illegal treaties that allowed them to set up shop in England and the UK and take over everything, and use Brits to fight against herself and kidnap the monarch, and that's me, and take down my father. They have his name smeared, character assassination. Now, I'm going to come back to this if I can get this up. I stayed up on the Appalachian Trail, and I have had things done to me that would blow people's mind if they were forced to watch it and listen to it, and I hope and pray to God that they have to. It's shoved down their throats. Until then, most people won't care. There's a few good souls. I'm going to say this, though. When the shootings, and there's a connection here because something happened today in Withville, and the deceased name is Peggy Ann, and it's on Murphyville. So I'm not going to even try to explain what I'm talking about here. I'm just going to put it in there. I'm not going any further because I stopped even going to any of the television stations with the exception of one because, and I don't even go anymore. So where am I now? If I back up, connect where I was going. I lived on the Appalachian Trail, and I did throw that in about the Peggy Ann. I don't know her last name, but on Murphy Road, you're getting into mind control murders that I was writing about when I was flown out to Mr. Flint's because he was shot in Lawrenceville, Georgia. And that special campaign to replace one of the doctors, Larry McDonald, congressman from Piedmont Hospital in Atlanta, that I'd written about in the book, and I was almost killed. It's horrifying what they did anyway, and to my children. And just think about my mom and dad. Oh, they had their names smeared where my mama wasn't even mentioned, and had my dad in history still saying that he married Wallace Warfield Simpson, a lie. Now, Elizabeth has always known, and of course, George VI, illegal, has always known. He helped kidnap his own niece, who was the real monarch, take down his brother, who was the king, with nothing but lies, and take down my mom. So now then, you've got Elizabeth going through here, Roanoke, Virginia, and I'm up on the Appalachian Trail out in Troutwell, about 12 miles from here. Star freezing, or had. It was April, I think the 16th of '09, I believe I'm correct, when the shooting at Virginia Tech happened, and the 33 were killed. The young man from South Korea, student, was programmed to shoot the other 32 and programmed to turn the gun on himself. So it was mind control murder. She came through here, and it's so odd because I've told this so many people know about it. They don't doubt who I am, but I'm this poor little soul. I don't have the crown. I'm not living in Buckingham Palace. I'm begging just to stay alive and find my children who are heirs after me. Now, she goes through here, and Elizabeth does, while I'm up on the trail up here. It's my money, my position she has. She's a war criminal. The whole bunch of them are. And they know who I am, who my father was. They know they're using my money, living in my homes. Well, I have nothing. Put on the street, and God knows every crime in the book done to me and my sons because of them. While they live in opulence. They're going to show it next week, okay? So Harry's going to marry Meghan. And history has really, look at it. This wasn't really my father that married Wallace Simpson, and they stole the crown, given to his brother, Elizabeth's father, and then to her, which is illegal. Now then, knows all about me. She's come close to me. When she came through in '09, when the shootings were at Virginia Tech, she was close to me. She has been a lot of times, and she knows all about me. And she went to speak at well, I don't know, before the house in Richmond, and made a speech. And then she went on up to a party given in her honor at the embassy, I guess, in Washington, where everybody wore their gowns and came out and gave this big party for her and honored her. And then she went to New York to the United Nations, which is a front. She made a speech, which is a front for the Illuminati that kidnapped me, the global government. She's a high-ranking member there. She does not represent the British. She is illegal. I have been told by Brits who know, and I'm talking about Brits not just but from Canada, from Australia, that she, some years back, to ensure, she thinks, to keep her power and her stolen goods, made them sign that she could be queen, that she was queen. So the law, there's no justice in this mess. But before I go here, my father didn't even get to see me. I'm sure they knew about it, me. Look at the pain and suffering that he and my mom went through trying to get me back, losing their child, and they had to have known to a degree, even though they couldn't do anything about it, the pain and suffering and what was being done to me. And then his grandchildren, my sons, who are legal heir, not Harry and not Charles and not William, none of that bunch. They should be locked up. Instead, Meghan is a movie star. She's been married, and her father and mother are going to attend the wedding now. And I wonder where they're going to stay and who's going to pay for that. It's my money. I'll come on out and say it. That's my money that they're spending on the gowns and they're throwing around. The thing is, if this is shown the truth, you have to make people look at it. where they can't deny it's been done. Um, I can't, people believe it. They can't not believe it. But everybody from the United States can't wait to run over to the UK, and they're having it all on TV. The locals, the networks is controlled by the Illuminati that kidnapped me. And Trump's right about the press being controlled, absolutely. Why have they never told about the truth about my dad, how he was taken down, about my mom, who was an American, about me, what they've done to me here, the crimes that will never see a day in court? Part of them are dead. So now then, they're having this great wedding in Windsor, and I guess they're married, excuse me. I have been told, well, I didn't have the social graces. How could I? They put me over here in a chicken, where they had chickens under the table, where you ate your biscuits if you were lucky, and you sit down with a bunch that were fighting, and I won't tell you what else the family did. I've tried to. It was hell. So, I'm supposed to have the etiquette while I'm paying for all theirs. How about that? I'm good to get a hamburger. I did the other day, and I shouldn't have. Now I'm going to worry about paying my rent. I have to watch it just like that, every penny. I watch everybody else eat, go to their kids on TV wearing gowns, and I'm begging for my name and to clear my father's name. And hopefully, in the end, my children are alive and well, because I don't know, because of who we are. Now then, I want to remind you, it's my money, my health that they're prancing around the world, and the world's going to watch and love it. Coming up this next week, and then they're married on the 19th. My hope is this is a start of unraveling and telling the truth. I don't know that it will be. I don't think Harry is even Charles' son, so he's not a Windsor. But that doesn't matter. They're illegal, so that wouldn't even matter in it. They're thieves. They should be locked up, and instead of bowed down to and admired. My God, the only thing that would do it is somebody in power that would have been able to put this whole scenario coming up together and finally tell the truth. Or if I even got my name back and were to go home, people are so in love with her and in love with Harry and Meghan and Catherine and William, because they're running around with my jewel paid for by me. I don't care what they say, it's my money. Living in my homes while I've lived on the street because I told the truth and because of who I am. Just like the Kennedy, JFK said, Jr., they came up to see how they made me live. So I guess that's all. I probably have used up my time here on this. I've been putting it up, and really if the powers that have helped me aren't able to, then I've lost. Even if I got my name back, I'm lost, because there's a group attempting to take down the monarchy in the UK. They have been, the Brits have been there for me, and I can never tell this, I'm not going to, because it could hurt some very decent people that did the right thing. There's been a lot of people from Britain, Germans were certainly over here trying to help, and some Americans. Basically, the Americans just smudged it off. So, and I'm going to leave it with this. So in essence, if I were to go home and this